So my name is Jesse, Jesse. Last name is Cox, Cox. And I am director of our Molecular Forensics Laboratory and Tissue Typing Laboratories here at UNMC.
And you actually have a crime lab, or you have a contract to work with, is it OPD?
So we have a human DNA identification lab. We frequently work with local law enforcement, which includes Omaha Police Department, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, and the case that came up today was a cold case actually with the with the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Department, but I know that it was a multi-agency effort in this case. And the reason that it was solved, as you may know, is because they had, in this 38-year-old case, they had pieces of evidence that they couldn't analyze in the same way in 1983 that they could analyze now.
For sure.
Can you explain how, sometimes that might happen with an older case or a cold case? They did say they always keep the cases open, but that there's evidence sometimes sitting around.
Yep.
That they couldn't. Yeah, go ahead.
So I will say that our laboratory did not participate in testing materials for this case, but in general, back in the early 80s, mid 80s, when they were doing a lot of this testing, the techniques that they were using needed a lot of DNA to actually get a good result. Over time, a lot of our molecular techniques have become more and more refined. And so we're using something called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. And so what that does is it can take a really, really small amount of DNA, which couldn't have been used, decades ago. And we can now amplify that DNA up, going from, say, 1 copy up to 1 trillion copies over the course of a reaction. And so by using these techniques, we can actually amplify the amount of DNA that's there. And so then we can actually start getting useful data basically out of kind of fleetingly small material, sample sizes of material. So a lot of it is just the technical innovation over time, which allows us to go back to a lot of these kind of historical cases.
Are you seeing some historical cases being solved now that couldn't have been solved even a decade or two ago?
Oh yeah, for sure. And so, as we understand the biology more and more, we can utilize different aspects of, a person's cellular material. So I know the United States Air Force has a program, where they're looking to identify, missing in action, killed in action soldiers and things like that. And so they can use different sources of DNA. So most of the DNA that we're thinking about comes from the cell nucleus. There's another component within the cell called the mitochondria, of which there are tons and tons of copies. And so you can actually use that type of genetic material to identify a person. So, again, as we kind of refine our techniques and learn more about this, we can, again, look at more degraded materials, older materials, and those types of things.
I don't know if this is something that falls within your expertise, but something that was mentioned in the press conference this morning is that the state of Iowa only has 1 crime lab. And I don't know if that's something you're familiar with. They did say that they can't send in lots and lots of evidence all at one time just because of workflow. Is that a problem in a lot of states? Is that something that you've had to deal with in Nebraska? I don't know how familiar you are with that.
So with a lot of laboratories, again, there's limited resources. And so there's limited personnel to work through materials that need to be tested. So in the state of Nebraska, the state laboratory handles a lot of material for the state patrol and those types of organizations. As you had mentioned, in Iowa, they have a similar situation. We're a private laboratory, so we have a little bit more flexibility. Again, we still have limitations on how much bandwidth, so to speak, that we actually have. And so, we'll frequently work with clients to kind of prioritize which samples are a higher priority or need to be tested more rapidly and those types of things. A lot of it is just, just a bottleneck and limitation, in terms of bandwidth that we can kind of process through.
Something that law enforcement, I know certainly attorneys talk about, is that juries even watch a lot of crime shows. They watch a lot of procedurals. How close, what you do, how close is it to what people see on TV?
I'm gonna confess, I don't watch a lot of that stuff on TV. So, in one of my other roles, I am a pathologist as well. I know there are some, shows that talk about pathology and medical examiners and those types of things. It seems like the Hollywood perception is a lot more glamorous than what it actually is. So when I describe a lot of the things that we're doing in the laboratory, I kind of liken it to cooking. It's basically you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, kind of put it in a tube, you cook it for a little while, and then you can start doing downstream analysis. So in terms of the really neat UV lights and like cool like lighting effects and all that stuff, it's not nearly that glamorous. It's much more dry, a lot more statistics involved. So those types of things. So obviously they have to make the Hollywood perception be a little bit more entertaining. But by and large, we try to keep everything very professional and whatnot, and give good data for the people that are looking for results.
Is your field, is it a growing field? Are there more people interested in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are quite a few innovations kind of coming down the pike with regard to forensics testing, identity testing. So obviously the Ancestry.coms, the 23andMe's, there's a lot of interest in kind of understanding where people originate from. Conversely, a lot of those same what we call polymorphisms or mutations that make each person unique potentially could be used as an identifiable piece of data. And so there's a lot of interest in going through that type of process to be able to, if you have some unknown DNA, to have some sort of physical description or physical profile that you can ascertain from that particular DNA, instilling more confidence in the results that we have now. So again, using some of those quote polymorphisms to help again more accurately identify a person, or some of the technologies that are kind of coming down the pike. So, as more people are interested in, where do I originate from? Obviously, the forensics field will kind of continue to dovetail that drive.
Well, that actually brings up something interesting too, in terms of ethics, because I know there have been some discussions around in crime scene investigation using Ancestry or 23andMe or those types of, genealogy-based DNA tests, but there are some famous cases where those have been used to find relatives of a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
In your field, are there discussions around the ethics of doing that? Have you encountered that?
So we're not doing that type of testing to get out into those weeds, but obviously that's an area of concern. So with the 23andMe's and the Ancestries, they've compiled these gigantic databases of, people all across the country and across the world, and, what's appropriate to access. And so that's a really kind of a sticky issue. And some of the testing that we've kind of dabbled with here in our laboratory, we've been using some of the publicly available databases with regard to frequency of certain polymorphisms in pretty broad categories. So is a person from European descent, or is a person from Asian descent, is a person of South American descent. Again, the sample sizes aren't big enough to really suss down that, this person is originated from Denmark versus, this person originated from Turkey. So at this time, our laboratory hasn't really gotten out into that type of area. We don't anticipate going that deep into getting into really specific types of genealogies, so to speak. But it's an intriguing question for the field as to what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What are people signing consents for when they submit their materials to those Ancestries and 23andMe's and those types of things? So it's certainly an area of debate. So.
Right, and in this specific case in Council Bluffs, I don't know if we even know exactly how they had a DNA sample already from. I mean, we know where they got the evidence, but we don't know how they already had a DNA sample from the suspect in order to get a match.
Sure.
So it could have been from anything, but I was curious about the genealogy sites and.
Yep. So a lot of if we refer to kind of cold cases and things like that, we'll often refer to the CODIS database, which is the database of short tandem repeats, or STRs, that's maintained by the FBI and a lot of the state laboratories. So for a lot of matches and things like that, where they kind of identify a person, usually it's coming out of that CODIS database. So.
Good. Well, is there anything else about your work that I haven't asked you that you would like to say that the public just doesn't understand about what you do?
Um, I don't know. Again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's as glamorous as what it's obviously perceived to be on TV. The other kind of interesting thing. So a lot of the same technologies that we use in the forensics field, we use in transplant. So I don't know that a lot of people realize that. So folks that undergo bone marrow transplantation, we actually monitor their bone marrow donor status using the same techniques that we use in the forensics laboratory. We use those same techniques to monitor for disease recurrence, those types of things. So, it's not, the technology isn't specific for forensics. It's used all across healthcare. And so, in terms of how long we've been doing this and our expertise and experience with it, I would say it's probably more robust than what people think.
So when we hear about someone using a person's specific DNA code or genetic code to develop a custom, for lack of a better word, a custom cancer treatment.
Sure.
Is that related to what you do? Is that kind of technology related?
Yeah, in some aspects, yes, it is. So again, the whole idea with PCR is all we're doing is taking a template DNA and then we're making a ton of copies of it. You can do variations on that PCR technique to look for specific mutations in a person's cancer that might make them eligible for particular therapies, or say that they're ineligible for particular therapies. Depending on a patient that has a certain mutational profile in their tumor, they could have a worse prognosis versus a better prognosis. So that can help inform the oncologist's decision. Should I be more aggressive with my treatments? Is it okay to do, watchful waiting? In the case of people that have leukemias and those types of things, is this cancer really aggressive? So it'd be better for the patient to go to a bone marrow transplant sooner. So, a lot of those types of, the ability to identify those types of mutations, and in particular for a given individual, can really help inform the best treatment path forward for them. So,
well, and we touched on this a little bit, but just circling back to the crime lab, do you think that there is a need or a growing need for more crime labs or more capacity in crime labs around the country? Just in industry wide, do we have enough capacity?
So it's my impression that we could always use more capacity, because it always seems like there's a backlog of things to test. And so that's, again, obviously the demand is huge. The supply of available testing, I don't think, is necessarily up to where it needs to be. A lot of it is getting folks, coming out of high school and out of college interested in these types of fields. So that way, a lot of it is just making them aware that these fields exist. And so, obviously the demand is there. If we can, bolster supply, that'd be great.
And what would people study if they're interested in this? What are the types of majors and beyond that they would need?
Yeah, so a lot of the STEM fields obviously are going to be fairly applicable to this. When I went through my undergraduate degree program, I did biochemistry. So any sort of biology, molecular biology, just understanding the basic techniques of how these types of things work would be the best way for folks to kind of at least become aware and get some exposure to it in their training.
Well, I don't have any other questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. I know you're super busy, so we appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, okay? Let me know if you guys have any other questions, okay?
Okay, I will. Thanks.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.